and welcome. I am Daniel Makokera here at the Global News Africa Network, and the program is The Dialogue. Whom are we dialoguing with today? Well, we are talking to the newly elected Deputy Chairperson of the African Union, Dr. Monique Nsanzabaganwa. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
And I suppose congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. How does it feel? Maybe we should start from there.
It's feel great. It's feel good that we won. It's feel good that we are taking all that we have to Africa, our sisters and brothers. Huge responsibility. I also feel grateful to the heads of state who have really had that vote of confidence in me. So it's a combination of all of those. Yes.
We are happy, and I suppose I might be a little biased. So I know of you a little bit. I know you're off your work, so I think it couldn't have gone to a better person. But when you say a huge responsibility, Doctor, why does it feel that way?
Oh, it feels that way because all that I have done so far was for Rwanda. But also I've been doing a bit of international, global, regional. But this time I will be accountable at the continental level. And it's a time that is also a particular one. There is high expectation out of the recent institutional reforms that have been effected. And it's a whole new commission altogether. So everything is new. Expectations are high, and the task at hand is also huge. So that's how I feel that it's really that way.
But for a person like you, I would assume this would feel probably better going in now when almost this institution is being turned into maybe almost private sector type, where those with good skills, people who are qualified to doing the job, must get in and renew this organization. Does that maybe make you feel better that?
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on that. Yes, I agree with you. Indeed, and that's the spirit of the reforms, and really competition and professionalism, expertise. But still, there is also that however professional you are, however competent you are, the what is at stake is big. I mean, it's continental. It's the lives of, I don't know how many, 1.2 billion Africans. It feels from that aspect as well. But on that, really, it's the good time for us, and it's a new team there. I like it.
Indeed, and of course, we do thank His Excellency, your President Paul Kagame. He has been spearheading those reforms, and I think they've been warmly welcomed by all on the continent. And what a time! I think the girl child on the continent watching you speaking to us right now does know that glass ceiling can be broken. You're the first woman deputy chairperson on at the AU.
Yeah, that's correct. And I don't know whether it's a glass ceiling or whatever, but yes, they can feel inspired, and we can even aspire to really. I mean, they have been a powerful lady before me, actually at the helm of the commission, and this is a repeat of another lady there. So it tells really to that commitment for gender and including women in the leadership of the African Union, which is good. And really that girl, my daughter, or her sister or young child can really feel proud that, yeah, it's coming.
So girl child, if you can dream it, it can happen. I suppose that's the message, isn't it?
It can.
Let's talk, and I did say right at the top of our discussion that I don't want to talk too technical issues. You're still actually in your home country, in your capital. You will be headed to the headquarters very soon of the African Union in Addis Ababa. But just a skeletal look from afar, how do you view maybe looking at this organization, and what do you think would be your priorities? I know, of course, supporting the chairperson, but Deputy Chairperson is really the one that's dirtying the hands day in, day out.
Daniel, I have had to do the campaign, so I know something about that organization. I did a couple of trips to Addis during the campaign. I met the permanent representatives who are shared a lot about what they expect of the new incoming Deputy Chairperson. So basically, from the spirit of the reform, focus on financial and administrative functions of this organization, really make sure that the house is in order, make sure that all the operations of the organization are smooth, are transparent, are efficient, are effective. Make sure that we are financially sustainable, that we manage financially our resources very well, that we are accountable, that we have clean audit reports, that we have really human resources that are, to start with, inclusive, but also very competent, and who deliver to the task with the performance indicators. Those are the things that are expected of a DCP, a Deputy Chairperson now. But of course, you know, I would say a combination of political and technical, you know, I think I understand very well the field, but I'm yet to get there and really roll the sleeves and start the work.
One thing looking at it from the outside, and another being in the trenches. But your training does come in handy when if the brief is make sure we stay in the black, make sure we are financially sustainable. That's been the issue, not only for the AU, but for many of our institutions on the continent, that finances seem to be an issue. From where you sit, you coming from being the deputy, the vice governor of the Reserve Bank of Rwanda. So from where you sit, how do you keep an organization like the AU financially afloat?
That's start from a baseline where we are at today. We are at a point where countries have committed to pay their contributions, at least be able to really sustain the operations of the organization, and part of the programming budget. We still need support here and there in some of the programs, which is okay. But the most important thing is, like, can we have a roadmap of how we graduate? Can we really respect whatever commitments we have made? And so far, so good. You know, you have seen the elections. All the 55 countries were like really in good books. So it's happening. It's happening. It's going to be very difficult indeed, especially during this time of COVID-19, where some countries who have been relying on say tourism and hospitality as a main resource of revenue have been affected. Others relying on say commodities or global I'll say global chains, but still there is that commitment, and we are going to start from where we are today, make sure that whatever resources we have are used efficiently, that we account on them, and that we inspire trust in the member states to keep raising, because we have that capacity to raise more if we demonstrate that actually whatever they have raised or contributed have been put to use, and that tangible things can be shown for that. So it's kind of a vicious cycle that we have to enter into, and it has started. So I'm glad that I'm joining when actually that part of the reform has started being implemented. So I'll just catch the train and also keep that pace. We have also a forum of ministers that are identified, ministers of finance, 15 of them each time, to support the commission in that work. So it's going to be really that collaborative effort at the commission, but also in the capitals in our countries, and also our partners. We have to think about new partnerships that are really based on that trust. We have to make sure that there's that mutual accountability that is in the game, and make sure that there is no gray area or no opportunity given to someone really to kind of think that this organization can't work. No, we have to make it work.
We have to make it work, but it does need money, and you know something about that, about money.
Yes.
There has been talk. I've hung around the AU myself, Doctor. There's been talk of some members who have not been pulling their weight when it comes to contributions. What say ye when that happens? What whip do you crack?
No, the heads of state have taken that decision to contribute. I mean, according to the whatever formula has been approved, and they also still have that commitment to implement, or that one or a variant of the same. As long as we actually are able to take ourselves in charge, it goes with the aspiration of becoming, I would say, dignified, and have that presence in the global scene, and feel that you are contributing. So there is a lot at stake, and I trust that if we unlock that virtuous cycle of really good things happening and inspiring member states to contribute even more, that is going to really be possible. So, so far, what I know is all the countries are in good books. I don't know, maybe of the past, but what I know today is no one has arrears.
That's great. You mentioned, Doctor, that your partners, you also look at them to still walk with you this journey. When you talk self-sustainability and when you talk partners, is there in the vision of the AU, or is it something that you would work towards, maybe to making sure that the AU is self-sustaining financially, that we might get to a point where we don't need partners, as it were?
Well, that point of, I'll say 100% in everything is not for tomorrow. There is a roadmap that has been charted. There is a commitment to start and grow gradual. Start by at least fully support the operations, matters like salaries, those we should really cater for them ourselves. Start to increase the share of the programmatic budget that goes to really different programs in different sectors, and a bit of the peace fund, the way which actually where the bulk of the financial needs sits. So there is that roadmap of which targets to achieve for each of those three categories of spending areas, and we must work the work in that path that has been defined, and it's feasible. Partnerships, I mean, no country lives without partnerships. If it's not like partnerships per se, it's dead. You know, even those countries you may cite out, they are very robust, powerful, you know, it's always dead. You know, you need, those are allowable. I mean, I come from a banking perspective. You are allowed to borrow. You are allowed to use partner money. You are allowed to use even leverage on private sector, on PPPs. All of those are allowed. The most important is that you are in charge of what your needs are and what the financing needs are. Are you seeing that actually you planning accordingly, and how you can make that alignment? That's the most important thing, and that's what we are going to be doing. So it's always been a blend of either, yeah, depending on different countries. I've never seen a country that is like self-sufficient 100%, but you can be still sustainable because you're showing that actually you master what your needs are and how they're going to evolve over time, and how your financing strategies are, and how you can really keep that while you're trying to bridge the gaps.
Indeed. Well, from what you are saying, it sounds like Africa will be in safe hands with you, Doctor. But what does the roadmap say, if at all, about huge amounts of our pensions that are in foreign lands? Shouldn't they come home and help in a situation like this?
The pension funds, they may be for staff of the commission, they may be for staff in many other organizations on the African continent. There is also that aspect of risk management. And when you manage the funds, whether what your appetite is it for really that income you want to earn? Is it that you want to preserve capital? I mean, that there is that consideration to come into picture. I believe I don't know, I haven't really looked at the figures, but I believe we are also on the African continent growing financial institutions of a caliber that is like a AAA rated, that are growing into that class of really prime investment, I would say, destination. So there is no reason we shouldn't have part of the pie also coming back to those institutions. We have to work at it both sides. Keep growing really the rating of our financial institutions, which we are, and maybe I should add that today, if you are after that income, maybe Africa is a better option compared to many other options, given the situation of today and maybe foreseeable in the medium term. So we need to look into that and start really doing the right thing. But it always takes, it has to be done smoothly, not really like you have to grab and because depending on your risk appetite, you might even find that you also need to balance it out. So it's
Indeed.
yeah.
Well, Doctor, as you know, and as you have yourself alluded, that this is not just a technical job, it is also a political job. It is a place where you'll be working. Is the people's place, the people of the continent. Some people have said maybe the AU is not that accessible. You know, our leaders go there. We know they go in January, they'll go in July. And yeah, they talk big words in air-conditioned offices. We don't feel connected. How would you, is it something that you feel strongly about, maybe to open up the AU and make sure that there is almost a dialogue, as it were, with the peoples of the continent, getting to understand their institution? Because that's the political side too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I feel like you and I and any other, you follow the sentiments of the citizens on social media or other way. But that's actually have been felt before by the decision makers in this organization, because at least in the documentation that I saw and the institutional reform that I examined, and even this year's theme, which is culture, heritage, whatever, there is that intention to take this organization, really make sure that it's people driven and it's for the people. It's actually one of the aspirations of the African Union as an organization. So the issue is not the principle, because the principle is there. Maybe is how much we are doing of that. And as far as I'm concerned, and the team that I saw there, because we have had that opportunity to meet with the chairperson of the union, His Excellency President Felix Tshisekedi, and the commission in place. That's something that we have that mandate to drive. Make sure that we communicate back, make sure that we make Africans feel proud of this organization. That starts by knowing it. That starts also by having really something tangible coming out of it. We needed to make really these projects like the Continental Free Trade Area work for everyone. Make sure that you see more jobs are being created because of that. We are trading more. Maybe we are linking more to our sisters and brothers in other countries. And once we start really to feel like something is moving, however little that may be, it can really bring that confidence and sustain it. We have also really to make sure that the connection actually works the other way around as well. That African citizens feel that they have a responsibility towards actually achieving what we want to achieve as Africa. The Agenda 2063, it's all of us who are to play a role in it. So communication is something that I'm going to really put a lot of effort in. It's part of the governance. It's part of the accountability we are talking about. It's part of that inclusive and participatory planning we are talking about. So it's key. It's key, and it's one of the areas, the strategic areas that we have to work on.
Indeed. Well, we are about to finish our discussion, but I will be remiss if I am not to ask. It's one thing being a minister, a state minister, which you have been. It's one thing being the vice governor of a reserve bank. You can leave home having seen the kids gone to school. You can go to school, maybe being in Kigali, you can even drive home for lunch and see the kids. How is that going to be now that you are carrying this huge responsibility and you are still a mother of 3 and you are a wife?
Yeah, I will strive so that no much changes, because my inner balance comes from really being who I am as a person, as a mother, as a wife, as a loving wife. That's where I get my energy. I'm praying that it keeps that way to the extent possible. I know some of the times, because of these responsibilities, there are also a few sacrifices here and there to make. But fundamentally, I've always stayed the same, and I hope that I'm going to keep the same. God willing. Yes.
God willing, indeed, we hope you keep the same
Yes.
as you work for the
Thank you.
continent, and we wish you
Thank
well
you.
in the next 4 years,
Mm,
and we hope it becomes 8 years of you being at our apex continental mother body, the African
mm,
Union, as you drive those reforms
yes.
that have been put in
Mm,
place as you implement them. We wish you well, ma'am. Thank you
thank
very much
you.
for having been our guest here at Global News
Thank
Africa
you. Thank you
Network.
for having me. It's been a
Dr.
pleasure. Yeah.
Monique Nsanzabaganwa, the newly elected Deputy Chairperson of the African Union. Ma'am, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Same here.
Well, ma'am, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Dr. Monique Nsanzabaganwa, who is the newly elected Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Till next time, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. This is the Global News Africa Network, and the program is The Dialogue. I'm Daniel Makokera. Till next time.